Thio.
And I'm Maan Maligali.
Giving you today's burning issues and the hottest news here on Newsforce.
Here are the headlines on Newsforce. Travel plans of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo deferred. Doctors say she is unfit to travel due to stress. Supreme Court justices who voted against the issuance of the TRO on the travel ban of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo says that the government has the right to be heard. Supreme Court Justice Renato Corona set special en banc session on Friday to discuss the TRO the High Court issued on Tuesday and the Department of Justice defiance of the order. Association of Southeast Asian Nations sets up Institute for Peace and Reconciliation to be increased in the region. Vatican outraged by Italian clothing giant Benetton's campaign of the Pope kissing a leading imam. And Bradley Cooper is declared sexiest man alive by People's Magazine. Fair and balanced news, comprehensive reports that take you to the heart of the action. This is Newsforce.
After the incident at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport last Tuesday, Arroyo doctors said that the former president is currently unfit for travel. Kat Domingo with the details.
Physicians of former President and now Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo has deemed her unfit for travel due to her weak health condition. Doctors of Mrs. Arroyo said that their client is still suffering from intravenous hydration after the stress she experienced last Tuesday at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport when immigration officials banned her from boarding her plane bound for Singapore. Meantime, Arroyo spokesperson Elena Bautista Horn said that GMA will be brought to the St. Luke's Medical Center in Taguig for another checkup, but refused to reveal the date of GMA's rescheduled appointment with a Singapore-based endocrinologist. For GNN, Kat Domingo, Newsforce.
Government officials and militant groups asked the Supreme Court to lift the temporary restraining order issued on the travel ban of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and former First Gentleman Jose Miguel Mike Arroyo. Maan Maligali with the report.
Government officials and various militant groups asked the Supreme Court to lift the temporary restraining order it issued on Tuesday on the travel ban of former President and now Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and former First Gentleman Jose Miguel Mike Arroyo. Justice Secretary Leila de Lima defended her violation of the TRO issued by the High Court on Tuesday, saying that the issuance of the TRO places the Arroyo couple beyond the jurisdiction of the Philippine justice system, as the state will be rendered powerless to compel them to answer the charges filed against them, to which they are respondents to a non-bailable offense. Even after receiving a copy of the TRO issued by the High Court, de Lima insists that her directive stays.
Yung directive ko nga sa BI is still the same, na kung magtangkang umalis ay pipigilan because nga of our position na meron kaming pending motion for reconsideration. Naniniwala kami, ang position nga namin is pending the resolution of that motion for reconsideration, hindi pa dapat ipatupad yung TRO.
Justice Secretary de Lima and Bureau of Immigration authorities may now be charged in contempt by defying the TRO that the Supreme Court ordered. According to Supreme Court spokesperson Maidas Marquez, the High Court may issue an order to the DOJ and the BI to explain its defiance on the TRO. If proven in contempt, de Lima and other BI officials may face 6 months of imprisonment and a fine of 30,000 pesos or both. Meantime, Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Ricardo David Jr. is unfazed by the warning of the Supreme Court, saying that he would gladly join his men who stopped the former president at the airport. On Wednesday, David issued a memorandum informing all BI officials that the DOJ travel ban directive on the Arroyo couple stays. Militant labor groups have staged a protest outside the Supreme Court, expressing their disapproval of the Supreme Court's issuance of the TRO. According to Migrante Middle East Regional Director John Leonard Monterona, the former president should be offloaded and be stopped at all costs from leaving the country. While in a statement by the Partido ng Manggagawa, they said that the Arroyo couple should not be allowed to leave the country and will not get any sympathy from them. For GNN, Maan Maligali, Newsforce. According to President Aquino, his administration has no intentions of disputing the Constitution over the rights of travel of the Arroyos to travel abroad. Rex Armicio with the details.
President Benigno Aquino III uttered on Wednesday that he and his cohorts does not intend to ignite a constitutional havoc after it enforced the watchlist order against former President and now Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and her husband, former First Gentleman Jose Miguel Mike Arroyo. It can be recalled that the Arroyos were not allowed to leave the Philippines last Tuesday evening amid a temporary restraining order issued by the Supreme Court. Meantime, Presidential Communications Operations Office Secretary Herminio Coloma Jr. said that the order of the Department of Justice Secretary Laila de Lima to enforce the watchlist order is lawful. Coloma assured the public that their move is not tantamount in ensuring a chaos in the society. Despite the tensions between the executive and judiciary over the issue of Arroyos traveling abroad, Coloma said the executive department continues to respect the Supreme Court. For GNN, Rex Remitio, Newsforce.
On Thursday, the camp of Pampanga Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo filed for contempt charges against Justice Secretary Laila de Lima and other Bureau of Immigration officials who stopped the former president from leaving the country for medical treatment Tuesday night. According to attorney Raul Lambino, the legal counsel of former President Arroyo, the contempt case against De Lima and other BI officials is due to their violation of the temporary restraining order the Supreme Court issued on Tuesday.
A supplemental impeachment case was filed by Marcos loyalist attorney Oliver Lozano against President Benigno Aquino III for violating the temporary restraining order issued by the High Court on the travel ban of the Arroyo couple. The two-page supplemental impeachment complaint filed by Lozano was sent to Speaker Feliciano Belmonte Jr. and says that President Aquino's brazen oppression on the former president is a violation of the Constitution, betraying the trust of the public. Lozano had previously filed an impeachment case against President Aquino for not allowing late President Ferdinand Marcos to be buried in the libingan ng mga bayani with 4 military honors. The Philippine government won against the bid of Singapore's International Air Terminals Corporation or PIATCO for compensation amounting to $565 million over the cancellation of its contract to operate the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 3. The International Chamber of Commerce, with the support of Singapore's High Court, dismissed the claim of PIATCO. PIATCO is insisting that it was not given the right to be heard on the issue, considering that the case records show that the company fully argued its case before the arbitral tribunal. The government had taken over the operations of NAIA 3 in 2004 following the ruling of the Supreme Court, declaring it null and void for being contrary to the law and public policy. The concession for the build, operate, and transfer arrangement of NAIA 3 entered into between the government and PIATCO.
Supreme Court Justice Renato Corona set special en banc session on Friday to discuss the TRO the High Court issued on Tuesday and of the Department of Justice defiance of the order. And Association of Southeast Asian Nations sets up Institute for Peace and Reconciliation to bring peace in the region. Stay tuned for these stories and more reports when Newsforce returns.